love how mangaka always find a way to trick things up a bit, to not to color that much or draw that much in their panels. And what do? They give their main characters a transformation, and the transformation is bright colored, so they do not have to ink it black in the manga. Akira Toriyama sensei did it with Son Goku and his Super Saiyan transformation in the Namek Saga back in the day, and now Eiichiro Oda of course is doing the same. Luffy's Gear 5 awakening form is white. And in this chapter it is stated his form is white, his clothing is white. This is actually pretty cool. We all thought it would be golden, sun, yellowish thing, but no, it's actually white. If you look at the sun, with sunglasses or not, you look maybe a bit on the side of the sun, it always has a white light, so it kind of makes sense. Okay, I like the design, it is light, it is the Sun God Nika form, which is white, so I can take that. One Piece chapter 1045 has dropped, and the fight between Luffy's Gear 5 form and Kaido continues, and this week we get a Shonen Jump magazine cover page. We see Luffy being epic standing there, and the color spread actually looks pretty cool. Also, we have the Straw Hat Mugiwara crews, and above them there's letters and it says Sea of Liberation. So, which makes sense. The end goal for Luffy is total freedom, and with him and his Gear 5 form and his awakening and the drums of liberation, it makes sense that he will bring the Sea of Liberation. The sea is also a freedom, a place of freedom, and at the end of the day, the One Piece, which will unite most likely all blues, east, west, south, north blue, into all blue. Kind of makes sense. This week's chapter is called Next Level, and it is pretty fitting in my opinion because Luffy's form ability Gear 5 is literally next level, and he can do literally anything. It is ridiculous what his powers are capable of doing with Gear 5, with his awakening, with his Joy Boy form. And we see it throughout the fight. The chapter starts off with Kaido and Luffy is just bouncing on the ground. He's turned the ground into rubber, he's bouncing, and Kaido's looking at him and he's like, how the hell are you doing that? You have the abilities and the capability of rubber, but this is a typo for Paramecia Devil Fruits, but also at the same time you kind of transformed, which is an exclusive only for Zoan Devil Fruit users. So, what the hell is going on? I thought you died, Mugiwara. And Luffy is saying, yeah, I thought too, while he's bouncing and having the time of his life. He's bouncing and he's like, I thought that too, man, but I'm still here. Kaido's attacking Luffy, he grabs him by the mouth. Luffy is getting squeezed into his mouth, but what does he do? He's smart. He travels through Kaido's dragon form body, and then he uses Gomu Gomu no Balloon. And it is funny, because Kaido as a snake, and in the middle part of it Luffy is expanding into his balloon form and Kaido is hurt, he's screaming, and I'm like, whoa, he just crushed his organs. Internal organ damage, or what is going on? And the funny thing about this is from afar you can see Yamato and Momonosuke are witnessing this, and they're like, holy shit, what the hell happened to him? It looks like he inflated or something like that, but this is not possible. Well, it is possible because Luffy is inside him. And from far away, Kaido kind of looks like a sperm. How should I say that? And then things kinda get a little bit freaky because Luffy inside of Kaido, and now we are literally and really reaching cartoon area. He is inside Kaido and he looks to a way out, and he sees from the inside, he sees his eyeballs, and then he's like, oh yes, that is the way outside. And I'm like, wait a second, you reached his head area and you traveled through his body, and now you where his eyes are? Yes, there he is, and he can look through, but the next thing is actually the more disturbing fact, because Luffy's awakening somehow, some way, I don't know how that works, allows him to grab through Kaido's body, or in this case through his eyeballs. And what does he do? He grabs onto his nose or his schnoz, and then he uses Gomu Gomu no Escape Rocket and throws himself out of his mouth again. It was so dark there, he couldn't find the way out. But then again, wait a second, don't you have a lightning aura around yourself? Wouldn't you be capable of producing light? But whatever, how are you touching through Kaido's body somehow? How do you do that, Luffy? What is going on? What are your capabilities with awakening? This is really next level. This is literally getting out of hand. Like, he now really looks unstoppable. What Luffy does then is phenomenal, because he is in his rocket form, but he looks like a balloon a bit, and then he lets his entire air out and he pushes himself into the sky, and Kaido's of course looking up. He's like, what the hell are you doing, damn you. And then we see Momonosuke and Yamato, and they have the most shocked face ever. Their expression is like, holy MF, what is going on with this? And then the next page comes and we get this huge, beautiful double page spread, and there is Luffy using Gomu Gomu no Giant, Giganto. And I was like, whoa, I did not expect this. Shit, what the hell is this? Literally the gear third, but for his entire body, and it looks like he's even bigger than that, because he is the same size or even bigger than Kaido. It's ridiculous. He's a giant, but he looks like the proportions is like his normal Luffy form, but he's just a giant. He's really big. Now, the Straw Hat, which we saw back in Mary Joel, where Emo was in that cold room, the Straw Hat, which was most likely Joy Boy's even back in the day, would be now pretty suiting for Luffy in his giant form. We need that Straw Hat now back. Kaido is shocked about Luffy's giant form, he did not expect that. Yamato is also figuring out, hey, is that Luffy? And Momonosuke is telling her, yes, I can hear Luffy's voice out of that giant thing there. So it must be Luffy, right? Kaido is attacking Luffy, right after that he's biting him, and it hurts Luffy, of course. But then our Mugiwara no Ichibi boy has a perfect idea. He grabs Kaido by the head and by the tail, and then he uses him as a rope, and he's jump roping. He's like, yeah, Gomu Gomu no jump rope. And then they're crushing down. But right after the split second where they would have crushed, Kaido's reacting with a ball of breath, and it burns Luffy, and he's like, shit, this is hot. It blasts him off. Momonosuke and Yamato are reacting again to it. Shit, a direct hit on Luffy. Don't worry, Toon Powers baby. Gear 5 Awakening is next level, and he has a way to come back, which is ridiculous. Luffy is completely in black, so he looks burnt. He looks like straight out of Looney Tunes cartoon when a character got burned. He's completely in black, and this is no silhouette thing. This is just completely black, funny, cartoonish, and we just see his eye expression. He's like, damn him, I'm burnt. That hurt. And then he's reacting again. He sees that he's falling, but he has to reach again to the rooftop. What does he do? He just pulls a Roadrunner. He just pulls the Roadrunner on your ass. His feet are so fast that he does not need gear for his pushing ability or skywalk or some shit like that. No, he's just so fast with his feet, he can just run right on back to the rooftop. I was like, whoa, what the hell? Are you never a Roadrunner? Yeah, Luffy now can run through air because he's so fast with his feet. Why the hell not? He does not need gear 4 to fly, he can run. This reminded me also on Dash from The Incredibles when he ran on the water, but Luffy can do that in the air. Screw skywalk when you can just walk. Or run. Luffy's back on the rooftop. Kaido's preparing Ragnarok attack with his advanced King's Haki, and he hits Luffy. We do not see the impact, but what we see is Luffy's head gets crushed on the floor, and his head is reaching inside the castle again, and we can see reactions of everybody because there is his head and his eyeballs are popping out again, and everybody on the floor is reacting to it and they're screaming, what the fuck? And then the next page is even funnier. Kid, Law, Nami, Tama, Chopper, all of them, their eyeballs are popping out, and all of them are reacting to Luffy and how he screams and how fucking huge and ridiculous his head is. And then I was like, wait a second. Is Luffy's awakening, even without touching them, is his awakening also able to affect the bodies of everyone surrounding him in that moment, or is it enough just to look at him and then your body has also the capabilities, the powers, and it gets affected by his awakening, and that's why you can do this ridiculous thing? Because normally, unless you're Usopp, this would not be possible. So what are the eyeballs popping out like that? His awakening also has to affect everyone around him, or everybody who can see him at least.
or it is just Eiichiro Oda being comedic. I mean, he just literally let his inner child out for this chapter. Oh. If he's back on the rooftop, he just squeezed his head back on top, and then Kaido's like, you have a pretty interesting power. I've never seen anything like that. You look straight out of a picture book. But if this is your limit, boy, it is still not enough to beat me. And I like that he said that, because it shows that Oda gave Luffy this next level power up with his awakening, but he still is saying, guys, don't worry, Luffy is not untouchable, otherwise there would be no one left to beat him, right? So this is cool. Kaido is saying, you got anything else? Because this is not enough for me, boy. And then something interesting happens. Luffy's awakening, his Gear 5 form, fades away and he reverts back to his normal state. His hair from white becomes again black, like his transformation is going away and he transforms back into normal. But then, because this is so taxing and draining, it drains a lot of energy. Even his face looks like it's melting down, and Kaido is in shock. He's like, who the hell are you? Because he straight looked like he's from Scooby-Doo or something like that. His face melted, and then he's like, hey, don't worry, this battle will never be forgotten, Mugiwara. You did well, but now I have to end this. And Luffy is just like, who are you calling weak? This is draining and so, but I thought I was out of energy, but I can still go on. And if you kill me, you know what? Only thing left will be bones, right? And then he's just laughing. He's just cracking jokes while he's drained and while he's no power left, but he's still able to crack jokes. Why? Because Joy Boy and because Luffy's character is like that. Momonosuke and Yamato are reacting to Luffy, and Yamato is then stating, this is Luffy, but he looks different. His color, his clothing is white and his hair is white. And it's cool that Eiichiro Oda confirmed it now, what color his outside look is with Gear 5, because everyone was going crazy about this golden sun yellow look, but no, it is actually white. That's the panel where Luffy is in his Gear 2 stance, and he's standing like this, and then he is preparing for his second awakening. He's preparing, he's even telling himself, okay my heart, come on, let's go. We need to get into round 2. And then Kaido is saying, yeah, you know what? Are you sure you can fight? And Luffy is like, no worries, I can do that. And then he hears his heartbeat coming again, and he transforms back into Gear 5, into his awakening. The drums of liberation, he transforms back into his Joy Boy form. And Kaido is ready to club him, but Luffy can see it and he is smiling. He was waiting for that. During his transformation, his conqueror's haki beams, lightnings went left and right, and then he jumped up. He's like, yeah, I'm again in awakening mode. And Kaido is having the best time. He's laughing and he's attacking. He's like, whoa, let's go. And on the next page, he clubs Luffy's face, but his awakening, his rubber, even his gum-like features allow him to adapt to Kaido's club. So his face adapts to the club of Kaido, and it has the same structure like his club. And his face and his expressions are totally Looney Tunes cartoon, and he's looking at him, he's like, haha. I pissed myself laughing because Luffy with that strange ass face with the effect from Kaido's club, and he's running away and he's like, that hurt. No wonder, because he used Advanced King's Haki on that, and Yamato is shocked. She's like, what the fuck did I just see? It was straight up hilarious. Kaido clubs Luffy onto the ground, but the ground bounces in because of his awakening. He turned the ground into rubber, and then he bounced back. He did some flips, landed on the rock, and he is completely crushed like a little rubber thing. It looks funny as hell, but he's counting down. Luffy is like 3, 2, 1, and then he's like 0. He jumps back onto Kaido, he swings his fist, and while he does that, Kaido has the biggest question mark ever in his mind, and he's asking himself, how the hell is his power doing all of this? How does his powers work? What the hell's going on? He fuses King's Haki, Advanced King's Haki, and Armament Haki. He does affect the area with his Gomu Gomu no Mi. Well, we all thought it was Gomu Gomu no Mi. So everything turns into rubber, like a paramecia. But then again, what is this fighting style? Everything is bounced. And Kaido is still on the thing. He's like, wait a second, all of this can't happen. There is no being on this planet that can beat me down. Shanks, maybe? No, but he can't accept this shit. But while he's monologuing and trying to prepare his next attack, Luffy is coming in like a helicopter. And then he punched Kaido so hard in the face. But then I looked again and it turns out that Luffy's fist not only got in contact with Kaido's head, but he punched through. He punched through his head and I was like, is he dead now? But no, this is the same effect what he did back in a few pages before when he used escape rocket to get out of his body and he used his hands and they popped out of Kaido's eyeballs. So with his awakening, somehow, some way, Luffy can punch through his opponents. And that punch looked devastating. Of course, also infused with advanced King's Haki, armament Haki, it got a brutal effect on Kaido. He felt that shit. And Luffy just says, this is fun, ain't it Kaido? This is really funny, let me punch you more. Oh, this chapter straight out was Looney Tunes fight and Eiichiro Oda let his inner child out for this. This fight was pure fun. It was actually pretty funny and ridiculous on some parts. It's your turn now, tell me what you thought of the chapter. I think it was brilliant, a brilliant fighting chapter, and it is literally next level for Luffy's abilities. It is next level. So we gotta see how this will continue. Next week we get one more chapter before there's a break. That means gotta catch you guys later, next time, next week. Take care and gomu gomu no punch through things. Bye.